Kenny. Have you heard the big news, Owen?
What's the big news, Mark?
Apparently, Trubisky's starting. No, he's not. No, Kenny's starting. Kenny's starting, mate.
Yeah, I've just got off doing a live myself on my channel, man. Yeah. I saw the Rappaport tweet that the Steelers moving forward will be going with Kenny Pickett as starter. Let's hope that's 100% true. It usually is.
Yeah, he should be, right? So we're going to break it down just a little bit in this quick video, this breaking news video. We have, according to Ian Rappaport, this hashtag Steelers are expected to move forward with rookie quarterback Kenny Pickett. Sources say it's always sources, as the first rounder is set to replace Mitchell Trubisky in the lineup. Pickett saw his first action on Sunday and is slated to be the QB moving forward. What are your natural reactions to this? What's going on?
It's good news. It's positive news. It allays the fears that I think that Steeler fans had that given that Tomlin's non-committal answer that he gave after the game on Sunday, we'll deal with next week. We're happy with where we are. We did what we did to try and win the game, etc., etc. This is good news that finally this puts to bed the fears that Trubisky will be back against Buffalo, which I think was obviously a fear of a number of Steeler fans. But yeah, it's good news, Mark. I mean, what's your take on it?
My take, it's Kenny season, and I'll say right now too. My first real take is I'm excited for the season now. I really am. I think in a guy like Kenny Pickett, he scored 14 points in 2 quarters. Trubisky scored 3 touchdowns in 14 quarters, right? And there are a lot of people out there, and we'll address some of these things, saying, Kenny Pickett can't do it. Why would you throw him against the Wolves? Yada, 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 yada. But you can't keep, in my opinion, a quarterback like him on the bench the whole year, because then you have the same problem next year. You don't know who he is. You don't know what he can do. And in the small sample size in preseason and the small sample size of throwing the ball to George Pickens, I think it's a good thing for the Steelers organization. And I think there's a lot of heat going Tomlin's way and Matt Canada's way for sure right now. But you have your quarterback for the rest of the season. And you're giving the guy reps. And he's a rookie, and he didn't have any chance to play in that game. Like he had no practice time, right, in that game. For me, it was a good outing. He sparked the offense. And I heard in your live on Britsburgh, Owen, you said that there was no 3 and outs. He was converting first downs. He threw 3 interceptions. What are your take on those 3 interceptions? If you can go through, the first one being to Claypool. What are your thoughts on that?
The 3 interceptions that he threw. I mean, interception number 1, and Mark, you and I have talked a lot. You know that I'm a fan of Chase Claypool. You know that I like Chase Claypool. Yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah, and I've got the guy's jersey. I like the guy. But yesterday, that was totally on him.
It was.
There's 2 things that really, as someone who likes Chase, really did make me angry yesterday at what Chase did. Number 1 was the fact that a 6'4", 238-pound guy was out-muscled and out-jumped by a 5'8" safety, which is unforgivable in my estimations. The second thing is, if you actually, if you watch that interception and you slow it down, the ball goes into Claypool's hands and bounces out of Claypool's hands. I know the Jets player had his hand up there as well, but a guy of the physical stature and physical size of Chase Claypool should be able to out-battle and out-fight a safety of that stature, as George Pickens did yesterday. George Pickens showed Chase Claypool how to do it. So that was my take on the first one. The first one wasn't on him. The second one, maybe he was trying to force it a little bit too much.
I thought that was on him. I thought that was on Pickett. I think he was running on his back foot. But he's trying to throw the ball out of bounds. And yet again, Muth went up and got it. Sure, that's a bad mistake, right? And the thing was you're winning the game then. There was 3 minutes to go, up 20-17. It was second down. You didn't need to force a turnover there. He was taking a shot. Now, you could have thrown out of bounds or wherever else and then ran the ball, and the game would have been different. But he's going to learn from that, right? He even said in his press conference, what are your thoughts, too? I know I'm jumping around a lot. What are your thoughts on his confidence in the press conference? He has more leadership qualities, right, than Trubisky, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just touching back on the third interception, Mark, it was a Hail Mary. We've seen some of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history throw interceptions on Hail Marys, Joe Montana, John Elway, guys like that. But yeah, his confidence was definitely there, the way he spoke to the media, the one thing that really impressed me yesterday was the fact that, he spoke about how, he read the defense and he changed the protection on the line because he saw something on the defense he didn't like and he thought the Steelers weren't set up to cope with. And he went and he changed it. And he's a rookie. I mean, when have we heard Trubisky talk like that? When have we heard Trubisky show the same leadership qualities that Pickett showed yesterday? And just the way he comes across. And you've only got to listen to the players been interviewed yesterday and today to hear that they have confidence in him. I mean, Deontay Johnson yesterday, Sunday, said that he's put them in a position where we want to play for him. How often did we hear them say that about Trubisky? And then Pat Freiermuth today came out and said, when Pickett came into the game, the Pittsburgh Steelers could be the aggressor, basically insinuating that when they had Trubisky, they were too passive in the way they approached the game. So I think, his leadership is plain and clear to see. He's got veterans wanting to follow him into battle, really.
I think the whole team will change. I think, the points for our offense, we might be able to score possibly we could score 28 points now, maybe 4 touchdowns a game, possibly. Yeah. Right? There's a chance that if Pickett can get out there and play the way he did and even get better, the team can go out and score points now. You couldn't score points with Trubisky. You just couldn't do it. It wasn't happening. He's stale. It was stale on the offense. He was stale in the meeting rooms, and he just, he had that mentality of like, I didn't play to we. Oh no, sorry. He always said we. Trubisky always said we when I think it was a him problem.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't play well. No, you didn't play well, mate. The offensive line was doing its job. The receivers are trying to get open. Claypool was wide open on some games. For me, it's a exciting time because you have Kenny Pickett now that's going to be quarterback number 1 and could be a franchise guy. We don't know, right? This is the first time since like Big Ben doing this kind of stuff. We don't know if he's going to be a franchise guy. But I like how we can be, positive and optimistic to the idea of like something better than Trubisky being at the helm. What do you see for this team overall? Was this the spark we needed?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you look at the difference between the offense, first of all, from the offense, second half to first half, they moved the ball up and down the field. They ate up time on the clock. The only concern for me was they didn't run the ball enough again. That in the third and fourth quarters, if you break the plays down, there wasn't enough balance to the attack. I don't think in the third and fourth quarters, Najee wasn't involved enough. Maybe that's a fitness issue. I don't know, but overall, the offense moved the ball so much better with Pickett. They looked more able to move the ball, and some of the catches that, I mean. Is it any wonder that, George Pickens, who we've all said going into this season has got the potential to have a Jamar Chase type year this year, to this point had done very little. Yet yesterday, 8 targets, 6 catches, 102 yards. He was outstanding yesterday, absolutely outstanding. I mean, that catch that he pulled in, that toe tap catch that he pulled in on the sideline from the Pickett throw was absolutely brilliant. So the offense just looked to go up a level, but not just the offense. The atmosphere in Acrisure Stadium. I don't know, I know you didn't see it live, Mark, but
first time ever.
I know. I did say to you earlier, Mark, if we'd won yesterday when you were sleeping, you got to sleep for every single game until we lost again.
That was the first Monday in a long time that I actually felt pretty good, and I was actually hungover as well. But I felt there was no way I was getting up. I think since about probably, I reckon at least 2015 or 2014 that I have not missed a game live at 3 a.m. So. And I was like, you know why? Another reason why I didn't want to get up. I was like, I wasn't excited. I wasn't excited to watch Trubisky play the same way again. And we saw he played better. What are your thoughts on is Trubisky going to be the number 2 or is it Mason Rudolph number 2?
Trubisky will be the number 2 now. He'll be the backup.
Yeesh. All right.
That's just the way it'll be, I think, going forward at the end of the season. I don't think they can drop him down to quarterback 3 at this point in time. I think they've pretty much made their bed there in terms of Mason's not dressing on game day, and it's any one of these two. Obviously, Pickett and Trubisky going forward as QB1, QB2. So I think Trubisky will be on the sidelines. I think you just got to hope obviously that Kenny stays fit.
The funny thing is, though, about Trubisky, I saw some things on Twitter and his interviews and how he was giving short answers. But at the end of the day, you're giving short answers. You got to go play better. I don't care. Your play over the last 4 games was, we talked about it, was going to be the worst in the league, right? His yards per average was 5.5, and you did some research and found out that if that was continuing, it was going to be the worst in the NFL in 100 years, like 5.5. And even guys Is it Frank Tarkenton, the guy that played for the Vikings back in the day?
Yeah.
Like guys like that, or even the guys who ran the football and they threw the football 10 times a game, still got a higher average than Trubisky. So how can, in my opinion, how can you be pissed off your Trubisky? You didn't play well, go play better. The other guy comes in and he plays better. So therefore, the team's going to go with Kenny. And it's no offense to you, Mitchell Trubisky. It's a business. You had the incentive contracts, which we talked about if you go out there and play good, then you're going to get more money. Now that's not going to happen, right? And I don't know if they will keep him next year. Hopefully, Kenny Pickett has a good season, and we'll see who's going to be a backup. Maybe it might be Mason Rudolph next year for backup. I don't know what's going to happen. But what I'm excited for is the same way. Did you see how excited KP8 was when he ran the football in for a touchdown on both times that he scored, and he was absolutely jacked up to be part of this team? Did you see that?
Oh yeah, he was absolutely. And I don't know whether you saw Mark, but even that throw that he threw to Freiermuth when he had the Jets guy right in his face.
Yes.
I mean, number one, how many rookie quarterbacks have the confidence to stand there? Know they're going to get absolutely nailed, but still release the ball. But did you see what he did when he got up after he'd been nailed? He was laughing and joking. He was laughing and joking.
Yeah, he smiled like Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
He smiled. He liked that. Because you know why? Because he knew he got him. He knew he had Freiermuth in the best position to win. And that could have also been a TD, right? That was pretty much should have been Freiermuth's TD. But he got smacked. He got up. He didn't get hurt. He was like, okay, let's go. Welcome to the NFL. And of course, it's going to be really hard, right? If we can prove you just a little bit and then we'll end the video. What are your thoughts about him going to Buffalo? Do we have any chance, or are you excited just to see him play? Should the Buffalo defense be worried and scared about what do we expect? Do we see Kenny roll out and do RPOs? Do we see this kind of offense really come to life?
I think there's a couple of things. I think number one is that you've got to take it is that these teams that we're going to come up against now, they are, don't get me that wrong, they're good teams. The Bills are a good team, the Bucs are a good team, the Dolphins are a good team, and the Eagles for me are an outstanding team. The Eagles are my tip in the NFC to go all the way to the Super Bowl, but they've never seen Pickett before. They don't know what to expect from Kenny Pickett. And that's a positive. That's a massive positive for the Steelers going into these games. They don't know what Pickett brings. They can, Trubisky's easier to scheme for. They know what Trubisky is. They know how Trubisky plays the game. Buffalo especially would know how Trubisky plays the game, wouldn't they? Because of the fact that they had him last year. But they don't know Pickett. And that's the thing. And the other thing, look, you can call me a homer. You can say I've got my black and gold goggles on after the last couple of games. And obviously, we still haven't got TJ Watt, and we still haven't won a game without TJ Watt. We're still 0-7 without Watt, etc., etc. But the Bills, yes, the Bills are a very good football team, but their secondary is much depleted going into this game. Is it Jordan Poyer is injured, and then one of their other guys is injured. These Bucs are not the same Bucs they were when they won the Super Bowl. Todd Bowles is an absolutely awful head coach. The guy was head coach of the Jets. The Dolphins are a decent team, but they're not unbeatable. They're not unbeatable. The only team in those four that scares me, that I don't think we've got a hope in hell of beating, is the Philadelphia Eagles. Because I think their defense is outstanding. Their line's outstanding. They can throw, they can run, they can do everything. But yeah, we should be optimistic, definitely. I
think we are. I checked the betting markets, and we're not a betting channel, but the Steelers are getting plus 14. They think there are no hope coming down to the Bills. But I'm at the point I don't care. I don't care, man. You're gonna play Kenny Pickett and see what happens. It's gonna be his first official start, and if we go and lose 35-21, that's what it is, mate. They're a much superior team than us. The Bills have Josh Allen, all those pieces around there. They have a really good side up there in Buffalo. They're hard to beat. But at the same time, if they were to cause an upset, it would be fantastic for the fan base to go back to what would be then 2-3 and have a possibility. Then it would be Kenny Pickett versus Tom Brady. Can you imagine Kenny Pickett versus Tom Brady? That's crazy, right?
I know. Do you know what's the funny thing is? A few people that were actually tipping that has been the game when Pickett actually properly started, wasn't it? The Brady Pickett matchup. But one thing I'm going to say, what I've got to say though is, and I think I spoke to you this morning about this, but. My morning, your night. It's just confusing, isn't it? But some Steeler fans at the moment are really irritating me and annoying me. After that yesterday, and criticizing Pickett for the interceptions, criticizing the way Pickett played. And you know what? If we do lose the next 4 games with Pickett, don't come out and say it's all Pickett's fault and Pickett's rubbish. Would we have won the games with Trubisky? No. Would we have won the games with Rudolph? No. So we weren't winning anyway. So shut up, basically.
Mate, there are a lot of people saying, why put Pickett in now, and you're going to kill him, you're going to waste him, but you don't leave a Ferrari, you don't leave your first round in
No.
the garage for the whole time. Yeah, I think Tomlin made the right decision after you played. He sparked the offense.
He did.
Now, if Pickett goes and wins that game, he doesn't throw that last interception. We're talking about a 20-17 win, and we're talking about how good Pickett is because they had those 3 interceptions, 1 Hail Mary, 1 on Chase, right? In my opinion, mostly 90% on Chase. And the other one, he should have thrown out of bounds, sure. But this is all progression. He's a rookie. And the big difference is between of Kenny Pickett being a rookie and Trubisky being playing for 6 years. I did think that Trubisky would have played to about the bye. But obviously, he stunk the bed up until the 4th game. The coach said, you know what? We scored no points. They scored 6 points in the half. Of course, they got Boswell, the 59-yarder, sinked it. New record at Heinz Field. But now it's Kenny time. Any final thoughts on Kenny time? And then we'll wrap it up.
I think it's time. It will see a change in the offense now. It's step it up. Canada's actually got the quarterback he wants. He definitely wants now. He was the man that recruited this guy for Pitt. They never actually worked with him at Pitt, but he's got a quarterback he wants. So let's see what this duo can do. Let's see what Pickett can do. And I'm very optimistic. I just saw a real NFL quarterback on the field yesterday in the second half, whereas I hadn't seen a real NFL quarterback in black and gold this year.
Me too. Now, the thing is for me and my final thoughts in this situation, it's Kenny time. Kenny. Like the dude played in Pittsburgh for 5 years. Let's not just say that he's not NFL ready. He's NFL ready. Like he's played 5 years of college, he's been playing football all his life. He went out there and took control of the offense. Now, Trubisky is the captain. I'm not saying you give Kenny Pickett the captain, right? You can still make Trubisky be the captain. He can be the leader. And maybe Trubisky's role is to be more of a coach on the sidelines. Maybe that's his role. Maybe his playing time is done. There are some players out there that can't be a quarterback that just sneak through as backup the whole time, right? Maybe it's time for and he can see something different that maybe Kenny Pickett doesn't see, but he can't execute on the play. It's time for Kenny. Time to get excited. The crowd will get excited. When he comes back to verse Tom Brady, Tom Brady's been playing in the NFL like 20, 23 years. So that when Tom Brady started, I think Kenny Pickett was 1 year old, right? Or 1 year old. It is time for Kenny Pickett, and it's given me more excitement this season. And I don't care if we lose and get the first draft pick, because at least you give Kenny the whole season to see what happens. And he's going to be throwing the football down the field for a chance to win. So this first game against the Buffalo Bills, if they go out and win this game, will be the upset of the season. But I have them losing at the moment. But it wouldn't surprise me if they go out there and win, because they don't know what Kenny can do. And Kenny is a winner in Pittsburgh. All he did was walk from one office building to the other building and said, "Oh, I'm here." You know what? It's not like he's a 7th rounder or an undrafted quarterback. No, there's a reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers picked him up at first round, and maybe there's a reason why they didn't rush him into the season. We now have a mini season right now. What do we have? Like 15 games? No.
13 games left.
There you go. There's a mini season. If you can win 10 of those, you have a chance for the playoffs. Anyways, Owen, thanks, mate, for coming on, or sharing the old Kenny experience. Kenny. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Thank you for checking out Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. Remember to hit that sub, hit that like, and it's Kenny time, man. It is Kenny season. As always, here we go, Steelers. Here we go.